What is up, y'all? This is Austin here with Let's Talk About It, presented by Fitness That Fits You. Today, I've got a super duper cool guest on the line today, Miss Chatoya Shelton. Chatoya, what's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
We are going to have a little, sorry, that's my coffee. We're going to have a little conversation today about a couple things, okay? But first things first, some of you, if you're listening, you're probably active clients, whether it be for myself or for some of your clients. Yep. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to have, I think Chatoya is going to just give us a little bit of an introduction about her story. That's one thing that I haven't asked myself is like, what your story is. So we're going to talk about the story here and see what Chatoya's got. Tell us a little bit.
My story. Well, let me start at the end. Right now, I am KMD Fit. That's what my business name is under. I am a NASM certified personal trainer, and I also am a certified nutrition coach through Precision Nutrition. So that's my ending. Well, I should say my ongoing, not my ending. It's not my ending. But my story, let's see, goes back to every woman has been through this. Basically, I was depressed. I was lonely. I was in a relationship, but I didn't feel like I was. And I just got to the point where I was very unhappy, so I was eating my feelings. And so I just decided one day, there's a little bit more to it, but I'll save that for later. One day I decided I was tired. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I got my booty up and I started outside. I started with what I knew. I started walking outside. I couldn't run at the time, but I started walking. So I just did some movement. And then I joined a gym. I had no idea what to do with the weight, so I did like a lot of us women do, went straight for the cardio. Bam! Zumba became my all-time favorite. I found this great high cardio Zumba class. It's really high cardio, or at least I thought it was. And I was doing that for a while. I didn't go in the weight section. I never did. I never went in the weight section. I was too intimidated, like a lot of us are. And so I found another cardio class that I started going to here in Louisville, Kentucky, and basically it just went from there. I fell in love with that class. I lost all the weight, lost too much weight, and that's where I went wrong because I didn't know what I was doing with my eating. So I lost too much weight, and I was going around looking like a teenager. A grown woman, I was in my 30s looking like I was a teenager.
Oh, damn.
So, damn. Not cute at all. So one day I finally got pushed into not pushed, they didn't have to do a lot of pushing. They was like, well, do some personal training. My ex-partner, Jermon, he pushed me into the personal training, do some personal training for myself. I fell in love with it, started building muscle. I started to look more like I wanted to. I still had to change my eating again, however, and I'm focusing on that because this is stuff we're going to talk about right today. I had to change my eating again to go with my goals because I was still eating like I wanted to lose weight.
Right.
So I was in a calorie deficit. So I needed to go the opposite way. I needed to eat more protein, needed to eat more of everything because I wasn't eating hardly anything. I cut way too much stuff out. So basically, over the last, once I fell in love with personal training, I decided I wanted to pass it on to other women and help them get healthier lives too. Because women don't put their lives, put themselves at the top of their priority list. So I like pushing that. So here I am. I've been through some ups and downs, bumps and bruises, and fell into your gym. Yay. Seems to be a perfect fit. So
let's get it. All right. So that's
short story.
Yeah, that's a great introduction there. So you'll find, if you're an active client, you'll find Chatoya here quite often, for the most part, every day. I think it's only Fridays, right?
Friday's basically the only day I'm not here. Yep.
Yeah. So we've been putting our heads together for a couple classes that we think are going to be pretty cool. I'm really referring mostly to the 80s aerobics.
Yes.
That's coming up. We're trying to fit it in. There's a lot going on, but we're trying to fit it in. But your KMD Fit class, though, what's going on with that?
KMD, that is my glutes and legs class. Every woman loves legs and glutes. The one that's on Sundays at 2 p.m., that is my original class that I came up with. Okay. It's basically choreographed routines, and sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, not you, it doesn't matter. How I'm feeling, I might throw in some, what do you call it? Some regular exercises, like stuff that we do with bands and stuff. But basically, it's all based around bands and body weight mostly. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a weight, but it's choreographed routines to help build your legs and your glutes, basically.
Okay.
And then KMD Hardcore, the hardcore says it mostly weights with some bands and mobility class. That's on Tuesdays.
Love it.
At 7. Yep.
Okay. So sounds like Sundays is a bit more for like a wider base of
Yes,
people, and
it
then
is.
Tuesdays for people looking to kind of expand a little bit more. Very cool. Y'all should hit those classes up. I've put up. I've taken a couple videos, but she's obviously got videos all over the place with regard to it. But when I was here, they were in here jamming, having a good time, So and they were also, getting some work in too. So don't be afraid to kind of branch out and just like do something a little different. There's plenty of try something different, right? Yeah. There's plenty of like boot camp gyms and stuff like that, and in Louisville, like this is something completely different and new. So give it a shot. Cool. Okay, so we know who Chatoya is. For the most part, if you've been listening to this, you have an idea of who I am. But one thing that we've really been trying to do a little bit more of lately is just kind of sharing our stories. So I'll just share mine with you also. I worked in a medical practice, kind of like you ever heard of MD2U? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So we sent, I think they're called like home care directives now or something like that. But
okay.
we would send in or nurse practitioners to homebound patients, and I'd say that was probably the first time where I truly felt like, all right, I like just the idea of health and stuff like that. I got hurt a couple times while I was working that job, just plainly from not working out properly, and then trying to be super athletic and really only lifting to be like strong and big, and you can't really put those two things together. And got hurt a couple times. Really had a hard time finding my place, as far as fitness goes, and I was sitting all day, so I was just in a little bit of a funk.
Yeah.
Finally found the fitness that I wanted, and I just kind of jumped off with it. And one thing led to another. Left MDTU, started managing Edge Body Boot Camp, Edge Body Days.
Yes.
You remember the Edge Body Days?
Yes, I was there for a short period.
Chatoya was there with Dermon
yeah.
and Edge Body during their cardio classes. But yeah, so I was there for about a year. Or more, but I was manager there for maybe just a few months.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to Pro Rehab Physical Therapy for about 2 years. I learned a lot there to the point where I was like, let's get out of here. And now here we are at Fitness That Fits You, making new connections, new partnerships, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So really cool. Just wanted to give you a quick introduction of the two of us. This will be up on YouTube, so people will get to see what's going on. Trying to expand out into that YouTube channel, but I still got work to do on TikTok before I can do like a YouTube channel.
No, you can do both.
We'll see.
You just post everything everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. All right, y'all. So what we want to do now that you kind of have a good idea of who we are, really wanted to segue a little bit on food. I hear this being talked about all the time when your clients are here, and me and my clients, we talk about it all the time. I've got like 5 different scales here at the moment.
Yes.
Because people are focused more on that and not enough on just the things that matter, like eating enough and stuff like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to let Chatoya just kind of tell us like why it's important that we eat anyway, period. I mean, we got to live. So
yes, we have to live. The main thing your body needs fuel. Your body needs the fuel, it needs the nutrients, it needs everything, macro, micro, all the nutrients to survive, to be healthy. All right, you can survive for a while not being healthy, but it won't be very nice. You have to eat. You have to eat to build muscle. You have to eat to have energy. You have to eat, just like Austin said, just to live. We need to eat, and a lot of us have fears because we have gained weight on eating the wrong things. So when we tell our clients, hey, you need to eat more, there's a fear, there's inherent fear there that they're going to gain weight automatically, not knowing that if you eat more of the right things, then you'll gain the weight that you want. Well, the muscle. I'll put it that way. I'll say muscle. You'll gain the muscle that you're wanting to build. You can't say, ooh, I want my back to look like that and not eat and expect it to happen. We can have you do all the training in the world, but if you don't do your part and eat what we suggest that you eat, then it's not going to matter. Exactly. You're going to be in here, being able to lift stuff, but the body isn't going to look the part. Yeah. So it's very, very important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you can, and you can, so you all know, like, you can lose weight. I mean, you can lose weight eating like shit. Yeah. As long as you are eating in a deficit and you burn more calories than you ingest. But then if you just eat whatever you want, your health is all out of whack.
It's still,
right?
that's why I say skinny does not mean fit.
Right.
That's not what we should go for. We should go for fit, not skinny.
Right.
I say that all the time.
Right. Yeah. Looking very like I like better. Like, man, you look. Today, baby, you look vital. You look strong. You look fit. Why I gotta be skinny? Like that's
skinny is not. Yeah, skinny's not the great word, y'all.
Ridiculous.
It's not a great word because when you say skinny, people are just thinking like, I'm just gonna lose weight and that's it. You want to be. How would I say this? You want to look like a grown woman. You want to look like a grown man. You want to look like an adult. You don't want to look like your kids. That's skinny. When you're even though some kids aren't skinny anymore, they're actually fit. But there's a lot of more fit kids these days.
Right.
But you don't want to be like this. You want to be curvy. You want all the curves, okay?
Yeah.
Especially as women, we want the curves.
Yeah.
We love them. The men love them. So.
Well, and I wonder where. At some point, though, that just got lost in transit.
It did.
People are wanting to be like super skinny, and
yes,
I don't know what.
Yeah,
that's
fit
about.
got translated over to skinny somehow. I'm not.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the problem. Well, and I'll say this. I walked into Cycle Bar yesterday, and it was the first time I had been there in forever. And I like the atmosphere just in terms of like
I've been there like once.
Yeah, the classes they're fun and stuff. But the first thing I saw, and no offense to anyone that goes to Cycle Bar, again, those are all really nice people over there. But the first thing I saw was this very thin, petite, like white woman with shirt just showing, And so, like, in my head, I'm like, man, okay, so I personally feel like that image can sometimes be, like, off-putting because they're like, this is what we're going to look like when we're in here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not like a all bodies welcome type of thing.
Yeah.
And then when you look in there, when you get there at the classes, all of the people doing the class with you don't look like that. They look like
that's
people.
What they should show.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They look like regular people. Even the instructors, they all have different bodies. They all look different.
That's the way life is. We all look different. Everybody's fit is going to look different. That's why social media is good for some things, but it's not so good for that because whenever I have someone tell me I want to look like her, you know what I tell them? I can make you look like the best you. I can't make you look like her, but I can help you look like the best you. But I need you to meet me halfway with your eating.
That's right. Great way to circle back to the eating. You got to meet me halfway. I love it. So typically what we see, people forget that this is, when we're in here, personal training, that this is about performance. I think there's just a big underlying miscommunication on what food does for your performance and what your performance will do for where you're trying to be.
Yes.
And there's not always this big push to get what you need in your body. But what I typically see is they want to, but like their work or their job or their family, like something's stopping them.
It's like you said, they want to, but they're not sure how to because of their schedule or because of everything that's going on in their life, basically.
It's
about learning. Yeah.
But the work thing. So oftentimes I have to remind myself how privileged I am.
Yes.
I'm not talking about a black and white thing, but
no, you're talking about the fact that you're a trainer. You get more flexible hours, and we can eat when we need to eat.
Exactly.
That's what he's talking about.
Yes.
I forget sometimes.
Yeah, I forget. And when I am hungry, like, I'll eat when they're here.
Exactly. And there have been a couple that have gotten on us about eating in front of them. But we need to eat too.
That's right. And it's hard too because I think sometimes I had a client one time and she does this often. I don't think she knows that she's doing it, but sometimes when people get to a certain status in their workspace, they forget that everyone else is working as hard as they are.
Oh, yeah.
They just do something different. Yeah. But she made a few comments over the months about some people having more responsibilities than them, right? And so like what she was getting at was that I've got a bunch of free time and don't have that many responsibilities.
It is,
and
but
she
it
has
isn't.
a lot more, right?
It's just different.
It's just different, right?
Yes.
And so that was, and when I hear that again, I'm like, well, this is the same thing you've been saying for the last few years now. So at this point, it's got to be an excuse, right?
Exactly.
So like, when I am throughout the day, just so people all know this, that most personal trainers, they have clients that they see in the morning, in between clients trying to do something administratively to get more clients. Social media, right? Whatever it may be, advertisements, trying to come up with new methods, new ways, like
research, learning, education.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that always goes under my right. They forget that's
part of our prices, y'all.
Yeah, they come in and do the workout and they think they don't understand where it's coming from.
Exactly,
and it's nothing against it. It's just that's not what they do. No. So, but yeah, so like all of that's happening. What? Sorry, I got way thrown off.
I think it was mine.
Oh, okay. They're going to be like, what was that? But yeah, so all of that's happening, and then they come in for their appointment, and we're telling them, hey, here's what we think you should be doing. And all they can think is, well, I've been doing this, you haven't been doing this. And they don't know everything that's happening, right? So when we're talking about it, it's not like we're just, spitting bullshit at you.
Exactly.
But, I mean, that's what I typically see. People are having trouble with work.
Yeah.
And is that ideally what you see?
That's number one, yeah.
And I always wonder, what...
Because I got a couple nurses, so...
Oh, yeah. What are they typically saying to you about...
I'm too busy to eat. I'm too busy to stop and eat. That's the number one excuse. I don't have time. That is the number one. Number one. But I'm like, how do you feel when you don't have time to eat? Right. I feel sluggish and tired. And of course, because you're not eating. You don't have the energy that your body is requiring to be up and go on the go like that, like nurses have to be.
Right.
They have to be on their feet.
Well, and then I guess these days most people are like, if they're nurses, it's like a 7 to 7 type of deal, right?
It's usually 12 hours, 12 hours,
12 hours, and you're maybe getting one meal in there.
And that's pushing it. I'm saying it as in general.
Yeah, that's and I think people forget that, it's not just about performance also, but like what they're doing for life is also performance too. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to perform as well as you could if you don't
eat.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know that sitting at a desk is boring because I do that.
I did too.
Yeah, I did that.
I've been there.
You know what I mean? But but there's energy being used.
You still have to use your brain.
Right.
Your brain. People forget about that. Your brain needs food. They don't think about that when you starving yourself of those carbohydrates. Your brain is going to tell you, I need those carbs. Because I'm telling you, anybody who does those low-carb diets, I'm not going to call out the specific one. Anybody who knows me knows I can't stand them.
Yeah.
But the low-carb diets, when you're short on those carbs, I can tell because you come in dragging, your brain is foggy, you're not quick to think. I mean, you're just slow to react on everything. You're like I tell you something, and you're like 3-4 seconds later, huh?
Yeah, right.
I have seen it. And it usually doesn't last very long because they come in here, they can't do the work like they want to. So low carb diets don't usually last that long. Yeah. When you're working out, when people don't work out, they usually last a little bit longer.
Right.
But they're not sustainable. So.
Well, and it's interesting too because I have a not just me, but I guess endomorphs, like the body type of an endomorph. Like I guess if you're looking at a chart, it would tell you that individual needs to have fewer carbs. So I guess technically you could say low carb and then more fats and proteins with emphasis on the fats just because of their body type.
I know, right?
And so it's like one of those things. It's like, well, what do you that makes sense because of their body type.
It does.
But they're also performing. So
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? What do you go?
I think it's meant for people who aren't working out, to be honest.
Okay.
I think those
that makes
charts
sense.
are made more for people who aren't working out because you don't use as much energy. Especially if you're just sitting at the desk for your job, you're not using as much energy as somebody who comes and works out 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
So I think that's what it's for. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
it makes sense though. That's actually what Mary and I were talking about in the last episode. Was that like, what's the difference between looking at these charts when you're performing versus when you're not, and like whether or not it's effective here and effective there. You know what I mean? So like I think it's just one of those trial and error things. We would have to actually like go through it to know, to do it multiple times.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's one of those things. So sorry, you all. We can get on. We just get on a little bit of a tangent, but. To come back to the food with regard to performance and stuff, as Chatoya has already said, like we need to be looking to eat more to compensate for the higher activity. That is going to assist us as far as what our goals may be. Do you have anybody that's looking to not just like lose weight? Like
I have a couple. Yeah.
Okay.
They just want to be more. I'll say more fit. To them, I just want to look toned. That's what they say.
Okay, yeah. So for them, it's about lean mass. So it's like they have to absolutely eat more.
Yes.
Right. Especially eating more protein.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that you should prioritize protein over carbs. I'm just saying that protein is very important if you're trying to improve on your muscle mass in your body. But, but yeah. So I think that it's a conversation to be had with regard to how to eat for high activity if you're trying to lose weight versus if you're trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, we can go all day with those people with regard to that.
So frustrating sometimes. That's another thing that you guys don't realize that we take. We take on a lot of our clients' stuff. We take on a lot.
Because we love you.
Yes, we do. We actually care. And when you find a trainer that actually cares, stick with them. Because we could be pushing you products that aren't any good for you, that we know that don't work, that we've never used ourselves. We can push all of that. But that's why I'm glad I found Austin and found this gym, because we're basically on the same level with that. We don't push you products that we know you don't need. We don't, I mean, I haven't seen a waist trainer in here yet.
Yeah, how old is it? I think I've had a couple people say that to me, and I was just like, look, if you want to do it, that's fine. But like, you have to do everything else right. Like the waist training itself is not.
Yes, it's a tool to cover up everything else. I'll say that, to cover up everything else that you need to do and make people they're basically lazy. Let me just put on this waist trainer and that's it.
Yeah. I try to like understand. I try to make an excuse for it, or I try to justify it, because the trainer itself, I think the theory is just that it helps you, like it's like a glove around your midsection, and so in bouts of exercise, when your internal body heat is increasing, I guess it helps increase it more, and so you can sweat more in that area. But again, if you're not doing anything else right,
exactly,
it doesn't
you
matter.
Can't wear a waist trainer while you work out, sweat all that off, go home and eat all the same crap that you've been eating and expect it to work. Right. It's not how. It's not. No.
Yeah. So we don't push that.
I don't push that.
I'll
push you against it. Yeah. I'm not even going. I don't even try to justify it.
Well, it does remind me.
I'm blunt on that.
It's the waist trainers kind of remind me of. Do you know those? Well, of course you've heard of them. The corsets, like.
Yes, and people wear those also.
Yeah. Oh wait, those are still like a thing?
Yes, they are.
Oh,
now I'm not talking about just to go out to a nightclub or go out on a date. I'm talking about yes, people sleep. Austin, you don't know how deep it goes. Women sleep in them.
So this is a world that I don't know about.
Yeah, they're literally messing up their internal organs just to try to be skinnier, smaller.
Okay, so this is obviously coming from an influence that I don't really. Mm-hmm. So where is that toxicity coming from? Like, where is it? Where do you?
I blame a lot of it on social media. I blame a lot of it on social media, and I also blame it on people. They're lazy. I'm just gonna be blunt.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I've never done a waist trainer, but I've been the lazy one. Think you can do minimum and get the maximum. But the quick fixes. They're so focused on the quick fixes. So the waist trainers are supposed to give you a quick fix. The detox teas are supposed to give you the quick fixes. Anything, the 21-day lose 10 pounds in 20... Oh, God. Lose 10 pounds in 21 days. Anything that advertises quick fixes, way too many gravitate toward that because they don't want to do the work.
Right. They
don't realize you did not gain this weight in 21 days. What makes you think you're going to lose it in 21 days? I say that quite often.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's the toxicity comes from wanting to quick fix everything.
Yeah.
And that's a huge social media thing. Huge. Because they're not seeing, even the people who do look the way maybe you want to look, you're not seeing all the work they put in behind the scenes to get like that.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the people who had the surgeries and all that. I'm excluding them. I'm talking about the people who actually put in the work to look.
BJJs?
Yes.
Wait, what's
BBLs.
What was I thinking of?
Oh, no. BBLs, y'all, is what he was trying to say.
Brazilian Butler. BJJs. Okay, I got that all wrong.
But it comes from, it just comes from trying to quick fix everything.
Yeah.
In the blink of an eye, they want it to be fixed in the blink of an eye. they have an event coming up in 2 months. Well, let me try to lose 50 pounds in 2 months. That's not okay.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't gain it. It takes a long time to gain 50 pounds. You can't lose 50 pounds in 2 months. Well, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. I don't recommend it. But yeah, it comes from trying to quick fix everything.
So to circle back on how we eat for your activity. So
yeah, we kind of got off that.
Well, because it's so easy.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to just like, especially when you get two trainers together, you kind of end up just talking about your experience. So I want to use your experience as an example.
Yeah.
So like, you talked about you were eating in a deficit for an extended amount of time, and so you ended up getting to a place where it wasn't exactly healthy for you and where your homeostasis is, like your body where it needs to be. So like, what sort of changes did you have to do with regard to your food and how you worked out? Like, what did you have to do? Like, what were your processes and stuff?
It was trial and error.
Without telling everybody what you do and how good you're at. They need to come find out.
Right. Well, it was trial and error what it came down to, because this is before I started getting my education.
Okay.
So that's, you guys also have to realize a lot of times it's not only education, it's also coming from our experiences.
Yeah.
What I did where I went wrong, number one, was just doing cardio. Oh, that's all I did.
Okay.
That was number one.
Well, that got you to lose the weight, though.
It did get me to lose the weight. However, I was still flabby.
Yeah. Good point.
I don't have flab right now, but
yeah, I'm like,
it's like I'm looking for it, but I'm not.
Yeah,
it's not there right now.
No.
But I didn't have any muscle. I didn't have any definition. And when I looked in the mirror, I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I was like, I lost all the weight, but what the heck? Why am I not happy with the way I look? I didn't have muscle. I didn't have the curves. My butt was totally gone. And I do mean totally. And that had never happened to me before in my life. And so I was in shock. I was like, what is going on? So not only did I have to change my training, I had to start picking up those weights. Ladies, pick up the weights. But I had to change the way I ate. I had to cut out too many food groups. I cut out bread.
Okay. Did you have to? Or like, this wasn't working for your body? Or
I didn't have to. I just felt like I needed to because that was one of my weaknesses.
Okay.
That's what I ate all the friggin' time. With every meal, I had to have bread. So I just totally cut it out. Now I know I don't have to totally cut it out. I don't eat it with every meal.
Right.
Actually, I don't hardly ever eat it except when I eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
And, I eat it as wraps and stuff like that. But, I had to start eating more protein, of course. I just had to figure out how many calories would work for me on a daily basis in order to gain the weight back, but in a healthy way. Because I could have just ate whatever and gained the weight back.
Right.
That's not what I wanted. Yeah. I had to go through the process. I had to figure out. I was doing protein shakes. I was doing all of that. I didn't like it. I was like, what is it that I had to figure out what I could eat that I actually liked?
Yeah.
That's another thing. You don't have to torture yourself with food that you don't like. There are way too many options out there. And that's what I did. I just went through trial and error, figured out what I could eat in order to not be overweight, but also to gain the weight. Okay. I added more carbs. I cut way back on the carbs. I added more carbs back to my back to my diet.
So good.
My veggies, I've always been pretty good at that. I just had to find the ones that I like because I realized something when we were growing up. Our food was cooked differently for us.
What you mean?
I ate a lot of casseroles and stuff like that, so they made the veggies like soft and mushy, and I didn't like them. So at first I thought I just didn't like vegetables. But once I figured out there were different ways to cook vegetables, saute, throw them in the oven, throw them in the air fryer, just different ways. You can eat them raw if you want to. I don't choose that, but just different ways that you can cook things. I learned as an adult I could do that. Okay. As a kid you were forced to eat whatever you were fed, and I just thought I did not like vegetables. So once I figured out I could add carbs back to my diet, I figured out that I could cook vegetables in a different way, and that I needed to eat more meat because I was even limiting myself on that. I was eating like a kid basically. But once I figured out that I needed to be closer to the 2,000 calorie range, it was a mindset change. I had to change my mindset. Yeah. I had to realize that what I was doing wasn't healthy for what I wanted, especially because I did build muscle at that small when I was small. I built, and you could see it because when you're that small, it shows up really quick.
You posted a pic. From it was like then and now.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I I probably still have the same amount of muscle,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
because I weigh more, it's not as noticeable.
Yeah,
of
well,
course.
you
But when
lifting stuff now, so it's
well,
like,
yeah,
you know,
it's different.
Yeah,
But yes, you can build muscle when you're small. It just looks sexier when you have more weight on. So eat the carbs.
it's,
Eat the carbs.
Don't
Don't be
shy
scared to
away
eat. Don't be scared to eat, y'all. Like I said, I eat about 2,000 calories a day.
yeah.
I have a hard time hitting my protein. That's a real struggle for me. But I try.
Right.
I try. I make sure I try. As long as you're trying, that's what I want. I don't want to hear like some of my clients coming here without eating. I don't like that.
That's
Bothers
rough.
me. It's not that I'm upset about it. It's that it's not healthy.
Yeah.
And that I also know that you need that energy to get through the workout, like I need you to get through the workout.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and I think, okay, so that part can be tricky too for them in
Yes.
particular, because I think that there is a ton of influence out there about food, like fasting and stuff like that for your workouts and all that.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, but don't. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't do that sometimes, but it's the kind of workout that I'm
Yes,
doing. Right?
exactly.
So
Mhm.
like, I'm not like. There's no way that I am going to, fast and then come in here and do some of the stuff that I would typically do with
No
a
way.
lot of deadlifting and stuff like.
No way.
like-
Y'all seen his videos? There's no way.
Yeah,
no way.
I'm not doing that. Like it would be more of like literally some of your single joint exercises, right? I can handle sitting down and doing leg extensions
Yeah.
without a ton of food in my body. I can handle standing and just doing a bicep curl without a ton of food in my body. But the moment I'm trying to like really push for a ton of weight,
Yeah, the deadlifts, the high volume squats.
Yes.
All that, the compound exercises basically.
yes,
when it
because
comes down to
they just ask for energy.
Yes.
and if it's not there, now I guess we would try to implement some some keto conversation in there with people, like using fat for energy, but that's not the way we go. Her face, she does.
Y'all can't see my face on the video. I mean, on the voice, but you'll see it on the YouTube.
Not a big keto friend. I don't think anybody that I've come into contact really is. There's a couple of people that I follow online that have been doing this a little bit longer than myself, and I've actually done some work with and have gotten some of their teachings. But even they, I feel like, would be a bit more knowledgeable with regard to how to use keto successfully, and even they're just like no. So I don't know. It's not. Listen to Chatoya when she says to just eat the foods. They really will help to improve your intensity during activity and your performance, so that you can get the goals you want to.
Yes,
because it took you doing that before you got to
it. It absolutely did. I tell you, I'm saying you as in my clients. I tell you this because I've been through it. Not only am I educated on it, I've actually been through it, so I know.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard to change your mind, but once you hit that mindset, I promise you will start seeing the results that you want to see.
Right. And it's funny you said that. So a little story time here. I had a client some time ago who he was a larger individual, as in like his body was just bigger, but he was a little bit overweight, and I say that simply because he did not feel good and he did not move well.
Okay.
He and I kind of had a pretty bad falling out with regard to his training. I think that he didn't like my methods, and I didn't appreciate his discipline or lack thereof.
Oh, okay.
But one thing he said to me that stuck with me, mostly, and not in a bad way, but just stuck with me in the sense that people don't always, they can't always understand you. He said to me, you've never really been in my situation before, where you've been, seriously overweight and need to like lose weight to be healthy. And that I thought was interesting, because he's right. I've never been in that situation. I mean, I've had my moments when I stopped playing soccer full time. Like I put on like 15, 20 pounds, but I put on 15, 20 pounds from 160, not from, 300.
Yeah.
So I totally understand what he's saying, but people forget that our experiences, that individual experiences, that whatever pain you're feeling, like, it doesn't always have to be the same. Like,
Yeah.
I've had plenty of injuries in my time when playing my competitive NCAA sport. It took me out of that, and there was a depression that you fall into.
Yeah.
And I'm not big on really being depressed. Like, I try to occupy myself doing other things. But, like...
Working out helps.
Yeah, that helped me a ton. But, like, I could not play soccer.
Yeah.
And so there's a mental block.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out mentally, you know, what can I, like, what can I do? Like, what am I good at? How else can I value myself outside of my sport, you know? And if you go in the other direction, it can end up being something bad, you know? So, like, I think people, like, forget that the people are trying to help you do have their own experiences.
Yeah.
They may not always be the same. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's a big reason why sometimes clients don't want to hear everything you're saying is because they think you're not.
I think so, because a lot of people have not seen my before pictures. And so they think I was small growing up. I was. But when I got to that period where I was depressed and eating everything, I'm 5'2", and I was about 170, but it was all body fat. It was gross. Yeah. I felt it. You know how you just feel just unhealthy? That's how I felt. A lot of people have not seen my before picture, so they automatically assume you woke up like that. I'll say this all the time. I did not wake up like this.
You do have that Beyonce hair, though.
Oh, Lord. I did not wake up like this. And even though I was small when I was younger, I still was not fit. I couldn't do this.
Right.
I would do this and wouldn't be no muscle there whatsoever. It would have been like, boom. So just remember, everybody has their stories. Everybody, because a lot of people that have been through what you've been through, that come into the gym, they're not sure what to do because they're used to being so active. But after that injury, they need to know how to get back, at least being active. Maybe not back to what they used to do, but at least it's still being active. Right. Because a lot of people have been through that. Yeah. Former athletes, they have.
Oh,
so
no,
everybody's story, everybody has a story, y'all. Absolutely. So we're coming from, most of us, I'm going to say most of us, not all of us, because like every other career, like every other industry, we have the bad ones. But most of us are coming from, that's another story from another time. But most of us are coming from the heart. So we're coming from somewhere in our experiences to push you to be better, because we know we needed that push at one time. We know that sometimes we still need that push, and sometimes you guys push us and you don't even realize
it. Yeah.
So just remember, we've all had our own experiences, and we didn't wake up like this. Yeah. I'm pointing to both of us, those of you who are just listening.
Oh, and I won't lie to you. I've been like, it's funny, like you said, we need people to push us. Like I've been itching for a coach. The problem with it is that, like, you know, personal training, I think they think that. So if you're a personal trainer trying to hire a personal trainer, it always is a bit more expensive for you. Yeah.
They think you can afford it.
Right. Then the person trying to hire you is a little different, right? Like, because we are ideally kind of manipulating things based on the environment, like where we live, right? Like, it's more accessible to them because we live in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah. If we were charging them prices, like I think the personal trainers are charging out west. I've got a buddy out there that, they're charging like $150 per hour.
Yeah,
right?
They are.
And it's not to say that they aren't worth that. Honestly, at some point, I'd like to say, you know what, I can justify doing that also.
Yeah, but I don't know if we ever can here.
Right, I think,
it's just the cost of living.
Right, the cost of living is, inflation's going up, and everything, nobody's getting paid more, so like, I don't think it would benefit us to do that.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
But I think that they, sometimes people forget that, like, if we were to buy a trainer, like, it costs a lot more. So, like, that's why we can't always get coached the way we'd like to. But I'm itching for a coach. Like, I had a couple coaches along the way, and they were great. But it's just the $300, $400 they would pay a month. It's $16,000. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a lot more for us, y'all.
It's just different, But I will say that's at least one way that we can try to identify with them better, just by getting the coach. True. So, like, I will at the very least do, maybe not a business coach, because that is where that money comes into play, but a fitness coach I do have, but and this helps us stay accountable for you all. But at any rate, okay, sorry, we got all Chatoya.
A lot of information.
Chatoya gave a good understanding of calories, and we had some other conversation in there, so hopefully you get the picture. But Chatoya did a great job of just pointing out the calories and how you need to kind of adjust what you're eating, how you're eating, for your activity levels, for your goals. You know, you're going to have different points in your journey, as she mentioned, right? There were different points in her journey, and she had to adjust based on that, okay? So that is ideally what you want to be doing. Please use that as an inspiration, as an example, okay? Now, I think, that's the other thing I wrote up on the board was a solution. Because I want to talk about that event. But a solution. What is a potential solution for the people struggling to get their food in? This is one thing that I've never put my head together, because I feel like there's really not a true solution.
I don't.
You just kind of
so.
have to do it. You know what I mean?
What I've been saying lately is suck it up and do it.
Right. But I mean that's how it is. Though, right?
It's how it is because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. I will never tell you it's easy.
Yeah. Right.
No part of being healthy and fit is easy. But like I like to say, you can choose this hard, being healthy and fit, eating better, eating the amount of calories you need to eat. You can choose that hard, or you can choose the other hard, which is not doing what you need to do, end up in the hospitals, going to doctors all the time, being put on medications, not being able to pick up your grandkids, your kids, being able to move with them. You can choose your hard.
Right.
It's hard. Meal prep is one thing I try to push on clients.
Oh, yeah. Buy it, get it out of the way, grab it on your way out the door.
Yeah,
put it in
actually,
there.
because when you have a plan, it works easier.
Mm-hmm.
I even find that with myself, because when I don't have something already planned to eat, I go all off rail. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a true thing. You go off the rails.
Right.
Because the last 2 weeks I've been doing awesome. I think I've eaten out once, and it was at Subway.
Okay.
I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
It's awesome because I've been planning my meals. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
Planning. That's the solution.
It's just you got to have a plan.
You have to have a plan. You have to, and follow through on it.
Exactly. Well, because they're going to plan to do 12 hours of work a day.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna plan to do that. They're gonna plan to sit at their desk and not take any bathroom breaks or not drink any water because they'll have to get up to go to the bathroom. But they don't plan for the food, you know.
Yep.
And that's such a hard thing. I don't usually like to blame them. But I think that's where we come into play, is like being able to have that conversation with them in person. But at the same time, it's like it sucks that the world is what it is. I mean, we all have our pressures from the world and corporate America and stuff. But like in that sense of things, it's like, hey, we dictate our success. They dictate their success too, but it's more of a, someone else is determining how you dictate your success type of thing,
Yep.
And so like if they're not doing their work, then they get fired. And so that's the tough part is, there being some sort of boundary that the workplace is respecting.
I think a lot of that is American.
Yeah.
Because you hear about other countries, they have to have time paid off. They have to take their time off. They have to have lunch breaks. Certain countries shut down for siestas. Don't get me started. Nap time.
What country is it where they have? What country is it where they have? They only have. I'm sure at this point it's a couple places, but they have 4 days. It's only a 4-day week.
Oh shoot, I can't remember. Yes, 4-day work. That would be awesome.
Man.
That would be awesome for everybody. You get that extra day to do nothing. I mean, not to do anything, but to actually rest. Because in those 2 days, you're trying to catch up on everything you didn't do during the week. Yeah. And then by the time you get done, it's time to go back to work again.
Oh, yeah.
So that extra third day would be awesome.
And they do a better job as far as maternity leave goes for fathers and mothers and fathers.
Yes. Why don't fathers have maternity leave?
That's crazy.
How is that fair?
That's crazy.
I need you to be home too.
Yeah, right. And Becca had a hard time with her work because Bullet Distillery is great, but they just didn't have any of that set up. Oh, wow. So like when she was pregnant, and she couldn't work anymore. It was like, I mean, she didn't get anything. She didn't get anything. Like she didn't get.
My goodness.
Luckily there are different programs in play to help people like that.
Yeah, but still,
it's crazy, right? And I can only give 2 weeks. As far as a way, I could have gone longer, but then I'm running a business, so it's like, what do you do? So I don't know. It's a tough thing, y'all. We do feel for you. We do empathize.
Yes.
But that is also why we're here, is to
remind you.
To look out for yourself.
Yes.
Speaking of that, let's talk about that event.
Self-care, my women's Women's Entrepreneur Self-Care Day, March 26th It is from 10 to 12. It is a full self-care day. We will have vendors there. You will get to experience KMD. KMD, by the way, stands for Kiss My Derriere. That's where it comes from. It's my leg and glutes class, y'all. Y'all will get to experience that class. It is an 80s theme. I hope you guys can come and join us. $20. Go sign up online, kmdfit.com. We're going to have vendors there. We're going to have a masseuse. We're going to have meal prepping company. We're going to have a healthy dessert, all natural juices. We're going to have all kind of vendors, health and wellness vendors there, y'all. We're going to have a oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, we're going to have a lot of health and wellness vendors.
So much value, you forgot where all the value is.
And it's only $20. Come to get that experience. You can get the whole self-care experience with the workout and with some food and healthy drinks. Just learning how to take care of yourself. Take time out of your day and take care of yourself. Because when you take care of yourself, it flows down to everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what I like to push.
It also sounds like people would just have a good time, getting to know different people and meeting different people and stuff like that. So that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
But cool. All right, I'm excited. I'll be there as a vendor as well, but I think I'm going to kind of just be playing the back seat, obviously, and just kind of hanging out.
He'll be there.
Let all the women do their thing, and I'll just be chilling.
Yeah, it is all women.
Yeah,
so.
But it's going to be a really cool event, so I'm looking forward to it as well. But okay, cool. So we got that March 26th. Be sure to I'll put up the link as far as we'll put all that in here. So if y'all are interested in how to sign up for that and you want more information and things of that nature, go and follow Chatoya. Of course, we'll get into her handles and things like that, but we'll put all of that in here so that you can get your downloads going and sign up for that, okay? I wanted to discuss real fast that nutrition challenge we got coming up.
Yes.
For your people and my people and for just random folk. But nutrition challenge starting on the 7th of March. If you are an active client already of myself or Chatoya's, you will have access to that. I'm going to make them contact us to get the pricing details and things like that. Serious inquiries only. But ideally, we're really trying to, of course, make a difference here in our community. Yep. We are partnering with one of the vendors that's going to be there, Prepping with Peppers. We're partnering with her on that nutrition challenge. So you're going to get 30 meals for the 3 weeks that the challenge is going on, and you're going to have access to your training sessions. Again, if you're an active client, then those training sessions are already in play.
Yeah.
If you're not an active client, then you'll have access to 2 training sessions. Oh, wait, I think it's 9 training sessions total in the 3 weeks, right? So it's a lot compacted here in the 3 weeks. The idea is that you're getting the full spectrum of things. And if you love it, you'll stick around.
Yeah, food plus workouts, and wait till you hear the price.
Yeah, when you hear the price, you're going to be like, oh, for real? So, and this is not like like Chatoya said earlier, right? Lose 50 pounds in 21 days. This is really about an accountability thing, right? They're going to have increased accountability, increased coaching for the duration of this 21 days, especially if you're not already an active member. Then you're really getting increased services, right? And you're getting the food aspect as well. And there's going to be education here, too. So we're looking to make sure that you get everything you need here so that you can do this following the 21 days, whether you choose to stay with us or not, okay? Chatoya, where can people find you?
On Facebook, KMD Fit, KMD Fit. That's my website too, kmdfit.com. And then on Instagram, I'm Fit Eye Candy, FITEY3. There's a story behind that, CANDI. Why it says 3 instead of an E, but Instagram, I'm Fit Eye Candy. And on TikTok, I'm Fit Eye Candy also. YouTube, I'm on KMD Fit. So one of these days, I'm combine them and make it all the same.
Nice. Yeah, I've got all the platforms. I just can't. I don't do it.
Sorry. He's getting there, y'all.
I'm trying. I'm so stuck on Insta and Facebook. I just don't do anything else.
Instagram's good. Facebook is where we get all of our clients.
Yes. That's where the clients come into play. Anyway, okay, y'all, thanks so much for listening. Again, my name is Austin. We were on today with Chatoya. Okay, we are here at Fitness That Fits You, 2407 Brownsboro Road, right next to Penn Station, okay?
Can't miss it.
In that plaza. You cannot miss Fitness That Fits You or the Penn Station,
right?
In the summertime, y'all, if you're just driving by, you're not quite sure, whether or not you want to become a client, in the summertime, we are going to be outside.
Yep.
So you'll see us as you're driving by. It's going to be a really fun time. But you can contact myself if you like with regard to information on the gym. Austin FTFY on Instagram, and just Austin Z Pegram on Facebook. If you want to become a part of our private community support group, Chatoya's clients are on there, my clients are on there, Chatoya and I both are on there, as well as some of the other companies that we're affiliated with, so that we can continue providing value for all of you. If you want to become a part of that community and get closer and closer to your health and wellness goals, you can reach out to us as well, okay? We are happy to get you there. As you can see, we get fired up and passionate about the characteristics that come with helping you, okay? So, thanks so much for listening. Hope you had a great day. Chatoya?
Bye.
Hey, have a good one.